and welcome to this edition of Channel 8 News. I'm Emily Waring.
And I'm Katie Ellingsworth. We've got a great show for you this week, so stick around. On this edition of Channel 8 News,
a K-State student gives a first-hand account of the Middle East.
Show you some new changes to campus safety.
And check out one unique club.
All this and more coming up on Channel 8 News.
This is Channel 8 News, KKSU LP. From Manhattan and Riley County. From Kansas State University. This is Channel 8 News.
We've had a nice preview of fall weather in the Manhattan area and finally some much needed rain.
Hopefully the mild temperatures will stick around in the week to come. Our weather report, Lindy Stuckey, is outside. How are the conditions out there, Lindy?
Hi guys, so as we've seen in the past few days, the weather has changed dramatically from going scorching hot to going pretty rainy and all those extreme storms that we've had. Is it going to stick around? Well, I'll tell you that coming up. Just stay with us. Back to you.
Thanks, Lindy. We look forward to hearing more about that. On Friday afternoon, Riley County Police arrested Anthony Stephen Nichols for first-degree murder in the September 8th homicide of Manhattan resident John Burroughs. Two other suspects, Christina Love and James McKenneth, both from the Manhattan area, are under arrest for the first-degree murder in the same case. All three suspects are being held with a $1 million bond.
Recently, most of the nation's focus internationally has been directed to the conflict in Syria.
But that's not the only area in the Middle East that's in turmoil.
Channel 8 reporter Amy Himmelberg recently spoke with a K-State student who has a first-hand experience in the issues in the Middle East.
For this concerned student, the images he sees around the United States are unfortunately not what he has experienced personally.
These are the images that the American media has used of the conflict in Egypt. The struggle for power as this ancient nation decides who will control their government. But for Hussam Fahmy, what the American public sees is not what he saw firsthand.
This protesting was considered to be or was intended to be peaceful. And for our side, or the people against, it was all peaceful.
There was little violence, but instead a sense of community and peaceful protest.
Tired, or people got tired of of the corruption that was taking place in the country at that time, and on a group on Facebook, just like that, they decided to okay, let's go protest into the biggest squares in the capital.
Now, as Fahmy watches the coverage of the Syrian conflict, he sees a pattern in the information presented.
It wasn't the case, it was just showing some scenes or made up scenes, let's say, that they were killing people.
Fahmy feels as though the information Americans see is not always the truth. Even with his idea and the views on the media, Fahmy wants Americans to know that Middle Eastern people do not hate America.
People are nice here, everything is good, The point is that nobody likes someone to interfere in his own business.
Fahmy actually went home to Cairo, Egypt this summer to take part in those protests.
I know the world is watching the situation in the Middle East very closely, so thanks for that information, Amy.
We are going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we will update you on a unique search by the Riley County Police Department.
And a message of advisory from the K-State Police Department, so stay right here.
Nearly 150 years ago, the first native limestone was carved into the campus of Kansas State University. Since that time, K-State has known what it takes to rise to the challenge. Now, we're challenging ourselves to become a top 50 public research university by the year 2025. To reach that status, our research dollars, endowment, career award winners, and patents are growing to match our internationally recognized programs and research. K-State 2025 is more than a challenge, it's a commitment we'll keep. Because where there's a wildcat, there's a way. Class, study. Class, eat. Play, play, play. Study. Class, chill. Class, eat, study, play, study. Sometimes it seems there just aren't enough hours in the day at our 3 campuses, so you have to make every minute count. Especially those precious first few. That's why Kansas State alum Herbert Diamond invented the snooze alarm, a dorm room fixture. Because even when you can't wait to get started, sometimes it's nice to wait to get started. Where there's a wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Katie Ellingsworth.
And I'm Emily Waring. Over the weekend, the Riley County Police Department teamed up with the Sex Offender Investigation Branch of the U.S. Marshals Service to ensure registration compliance of convicted sex offenders in Riley County. During the operation, more than 100 compliance verifications were conducted on registered sex offenders, and 4 registered offenders were found to be non-compliant, and those cases are currently being reviewed for violation. The RCPD would like to thank the United States Probation Office, the Kansas Department of Corrections, the U.S. Marshals Service, and the Kansas Bureau of Investigation for their assistance in the investigation.
A safety advisory was released on Monday after the K-State Police Department began investigating reports of an unknown male exposing himself on campus Sunday evening. The subject was described as a middle-aged white male between 5'9" and 6 foot tall with a husky build. K-State would like to remind all students of the Wildcat Walk services available on campus. The number for Wildcat Walk is 785-395-SAFE. Anyone with information on the case is urged to contact the K-State Police Department. With this year's enrollment class at K-State being the biggest it's ever been, foot traffic on campus has been a bit overwhelming.
Add bike traffic into that mix of walking to class and it can be like a stampede. Channel 8 reporter Courtney Liebel tells us how the university is trying to make the congestion a little less hectic.
With just a walk around campus, it's easy to see how the congestion is an accident waiting to happen.
If you've ever ridden a bike on campus, then you probably know how hard it is to weave in and out of people walking while trying to ride your bike on the sidewalk. New this year are white dismount signs, yellow yield signs, and red bikes only signs that are everywhere. These new signs have been added to the sidewalks around campus to try and make it easier for bikers and walkers to avoid any collisions.
Last year, actually right here in front of Rathbone, I did have a collision with a skateboarder, and we were both fine. It was just super awkward. I never hit a pedestrian.
Have people actually been following the new rules, though?
I haven't seen anything like vocalized or anyone tell me anything, but I have noticed these signs. I do pay attention to them. If it's not too busy, I'll kind of ignore them, but if there's a lot of traffic, I'll try to, get off my bike so I don't whack anybody.
With so many students walking on campus daily, it's hard telling whether or not these rules will always be followed.
A lot of people just don't hear you coming, so you kind of got to brake or swerve out of the way, which can be kind of dangerous. So I understand the need for these things, definitely.
Safety is the biggest concern for bikers and walkers when traveling around campus. Hopefully, these rules make it easier for bikers to share the sidewalks with fellow students.
You know, guys, campus police told me that you won't be ticketed if you don't follow these rules. They just don't have enough manpower to enforce these rules that strictly. But it is a good idea if you ride a bike to wear a helmet.
I totally agree with you. Helmets, you would probably not find that in my house though, because I am 21 and I still don't know how to ride a bike.
So word of the wise, if you ever see her on a bike, just be sure to steer clear.
For high school band students, marching in a parade performing at halftime show is a Friday night event.
But it's not every day that they join a college-level band during a Division I football game. Channel 8 News reporter J. Ryan Roberts has the story.
Thanks, Katie. Aggieville was alive with the sound of music as a K-State tradition marched on.
It's K-State's annual band day. Bands from 30 Kansas high schools trek to Manhattan. Many schools traveled hundreds of miles to take part in this year's festivities.
It means a lot to me to see all these bands showcasing out here and to show Humboldt around here. It's a good experience. see all the bands, and you can also learn a few things and make some friends.
Led by the K-State Band, nearly 2,000 high schoolers followed.
High school bands like the one behind me are full of students who would love to wear the K-State purple and white.
It's pretty amazing. They have like a really huge band, like to see like everybody on like a different part and like how many instruments they have.
It's a great experience for the kids. We're from a small town, we have a small band, and this gives them the opportunity to see other bands and how they play and march, and to see the K-State marching band. They are inspired, they have a lot more energy, and they, play with pride.
But the parade was not the end of the day. The high school bands were in the stands during the UMass game. The highlight of the day was marching with the K-State Band during halftime.
K-State's Band Day is a decades-old tradition. As a matter of fact, in 1984, the Guinness Book of World Records recognized K-State's Band Day as the world's largest marching band. It's a great experience for the high schoolers and just one of those K-State traditions.
I know it was exciting for the high schoolers to play on that big of a field. Thanks, JR.
It's time for another break, but stay tuned to see what unique creature the zoo has brought with them today.
Around here, school pride isn't just some slogan on a t-shirt. It's the spirit that comes from understanding we are stronger when we're together. That's the essence of K-State Proud, a nationally recognized student-led fundraising campaign. In just 6 years, K-State Proud has helped raise more than $500,000 to help students who need it most and appreciate it best. Think of it as Philanthropy 101. K-State Proud. It's just one more way the Kansas State family treats one another, well, like family. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. It was a routine grain elevator inspection until the explosions began. Until a blast tossed him more than 300 feet. Then it became the event that changed Kevin Saunders forever. The body of this K-State alum was broken, but his spirit, well, that spirit not only survived, it thrived. Against all odds, Saunders transformed himself into the world's greatest wheelchair athlete, one of America's premier motivational speakers, and the first Paralympian appointed to the President's Council on Physical Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back. We're joined on set now with Jared Bixby of the Sunset Zoo. Thanks for joining us today. Now, can you tell me who you have there?
Well, we've got one of our kind of more local animals, not necessarily found right here in Manhattan, but is found in Kansas.
Oh.
This is one of our hognose. This is our hognose snake at the zoo. This is one of our program animals, so we use it in our education programming that we do. So when we take them off site, or we do in our programs like our Zoo Sprouts daycare, child care program. So, but yeah, he's kind of a local resident, I guess you could say, a little bit.
Can you tell me what he normally eats for his diet?
This guy, he typically eats of frogs, frogs and toads. He is actually rear-fanged. One of the defense mechanisms for frogs and toads is to inflate their body, and so he uses those rear fangs to kind of puncture the body, and that's what he will go after. He also gets his name Hognose because his nose is kind of upturned, and he'll use that to kind of dig up frogs from the ground when they bury themselves. So he'll use that to do his hunting. So he's a really great animal. Like I said, he's found in Kansas, probably more so in the southwest area of Kansas, and so not quite up this far east. So, but they've got a lot of cool adaptations. This guy also, he'll play dead. So if he gets really scared, he'll flip over on his back, stick his tongue out, and kind of let some different things out of him to make him stink. So so he's a really unique snake in that sense, that he's got some unique adaptations for hunting frogs, playing dead, protecting himself, stuff like that.
And normally, what would he have to be scared of? Like, he seems like he could pretty much handle himself out there.
Yeah, foxes, coyotes, things like that. He would need to be afraid of. Skunks will also go after snakes. So it just varies. There's a lot of predators out there that will go after snakes. So,
is he full size, or is he actually going to be growing any bigger?
He probably could get a little bit bigger. It just varies on hognose. But as far as length goes, this is probably pretty average, pretty typical. He might get a little more girth, a little more width in his body. But lengthwise, probably not a huge amount of growth yet left. Snakes and most reptiles, though, they'll grow their entire life. So it's hard to say that, this is the max size that they'll grow. You usually go by averages, because if they live an extremely long life, they continue to grow their entire life. So their growth just kind of slows down at a certain age.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today. It's always a pleasure to have you in the zoo.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, once again, we're going to take another break. We'll come back. We'll look at this week's weather, so be sure to stay tuned.
Wired magazine calls him the explainer. His students call him amazing. Over 20 million YouTube views show that Associate Anthropology Professor Michael Wesch is transforming higher education. Translated to more than 20 languages and counting, Professor Wesch's teachings still share one common voice: passion. And whether you're learning live or online, that passion is contagious. And that passion is one of the leading reasons Kansas State University is first among U.S. public research universities in producing U.S. Case Carnegie Professors of the Year. Where there's a wildcat, there's a way. It was the day the music nearly died. Little remained after a 1968 fire roared through Nichols Hall at Kansas State University, reducing the music department to rubble. But before the embers of that terrible fire had even died, a new fire blazed within every member of the Wildcat Band. Using the only sheet music that survived the fire, the band pumped up the next home crowd with a rousing rendition of Wabash Cannonball. To this day, the jingle, the rumble, and the roar still fire up the fans and brings them to their feet. Where there's a wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. Now it's time to check in with our weather reporter, Lindy Stuckey.
Lindy, will we continue to see rain and fall-like temperatures, or will it get a little warmer this week?
Yeah, so the Kansas weather has been kind of crazy lately. We've seen some just extreme heat and then some showers, and if we take a look outside right now, you'll see it looks pretty great outside, but what you can't see is, well, the precipitation and the humidity. As of right now, though, it's supposed to be getting better, back to the fall-like weather, which is what we are hoping for. So looking at our national map, Los Angeles is getting some pretty great weather right now, but sadly, it's going to move all the way up maybe to the hundreds, and it's going to be pretty hot over there. But New York, on the other hand, is getting some cooler weather. They're in the 60s right now, and it's just going to stay around that, the fall weather, which is going to be great for them and all their trees. Looking up here all the way down to the bottom of Texas, there's going to be some rainfall coming in. We're going to get a little bit of that off and on maybe in the next week. But looking at this week, if we go to the 5-day forecast, or we can just look at Kansas real fast. Kansas in general this week is going to be pretty great. We're getting the fall weather that we're wanting, so it's pumpkin carving season. Dodge City is getting 90s, but it's actually going to move down this week, along with over here in Wichita and Topeka. So those temperatures right now are pretty hot, but it's going to get better. Looking at the 5-day forecast now, we've got the high of 90. Like I said earlier, the rainfall coming from the north down through Texas. We're going to get a little bit of that, but not much. It's going to pass right through. So tonight it's going to be pretty great night for walks to the park. So make sure that you're not walking by yourself if you decide to go on a nice stroll. And then for the rest of the week, cloudy and sunny. So it's supposed to be looking pretty great. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that weather report, Lindy. I'm really enjoying those cooler fall temperatures as the beginning of the week. I'm ready for some cooler weather at the K-State football games. K-State sports, including football, is now in full swing.
Teams are ready to begin conference play in the next few weeks, and like always, are looking for a Wildcat victory.
Channel 8 reporter Caitlin Spaney is here to tell us about what's going on in K-State sports.
Thanks, Emily. The K-State Wildcats were back to last season form Saturday as they faced the UMass Minutemen. They defeated the Minutemen 37-7 on the last home game before October 12th. Kip Daly set the tone for the Wildcat defense as he returned a 38-yard interception for a touchdown in the first quarter. Daly was later named the Big 12 Conference Defensive Player of the Week. John Hubert, a senior running back, racked up 100-plus yards rushing. Hubert scored on a 43-yard receiving touchdown in the second quarter that helped give the Wildcats a 27-7 lead at the half. Glenn Kronkowski, a redshirt freshman fullback, scored his first career touchdown in the third quarter. He ran 50 yards and helped put the Wildcats up 34-7. Robert Rose and Daniel Sams each had one touchdown as the Wildcats defense was able to hold off the Minutemen to just 7 points. The Wildcats will play their next home game against Baylor on October 12th. And the K-State football team wasn't the only team to hit the gridiron in Manhattan. On Thursday night, Putnam II in yellow and West Hall in red played each other in an intramural duel in flag football. Unlike regular football, there is no tackling and the teams are only allowed to pass twice in one play. Putnam II defeated West Hall 38-0. And there's not just intramural football going on at the rec. Soccer has also become popular. Among the students, we are not good faced out against Los Boqueros on Thursday night in a friendly duel. And the K-State disc golf team is on a mission. Channel 8 reporter Katie Leapham went to see what they're seeking.
Hello, I'm Katie Leapham, and I learned a lot about disc golf. I have more information for you here later. If they're not working on their putts, then they're practicing their drives. The structure of disc golf is much like regular golf, except instead of using different types of clubs, players use a variety of discs.
So we've got 2 tournaments coming up in October, so we're really trying to hit the drills hard and get everybody tournament ready. The ultimate goal is to get back to nationals in North Augusta, South Carolina.
After last year's nationals slipped through their fingers, the club is back on the course.
We have a solid 10 people competing for 4 spots on the team, so we're going to have the best of the best this year. We're definitely going to nationals this year.
Tell Alex to go up.
There it is.
Some of the players find that there are more important things than wins and losses.
It gets me outside. It's something to do with friends, do with the club, just get to know people a little bit better.
My favorite part about disc golf is definitely community. I started playing here in Manhattan, and there's a big friendly community.
If you'd like to see how the team fares in tournament play, you can visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/KSUDGC. Hello, I am here with the captain of the Kansas State University's golf club, Mitchell Bren. Mitchell, tell me what you have here.
So here I've got the 2 main varieties of disc. You've got your putter, which is your short range game, and you've got your drivers, which is what you use to get your max distance.
Alrighty, can you show me what you got a little bit here? Alrighty, thank you very much for coming and showing us what you did.
No problem.
Thanks for that report, Katie. I wish the disc golf club the best of luck this season. We're going to take one last break, but stay right here with us.
Choose your direction and navigate the road to success. Discover opportunities. Make connections. Reach your destination. Earn a degree online from Kansas State University.
Do I need a banter?
Choose your direction. We'll help navigate.
Because there's like after this.
A Wildcat legacy from generation to generation.
Where my grandfather went to school.
Where my mother went to school.
It's a legacy scholarship program started by the K-State Alumni Association, specifically for the children and grandchildren of K-State alumni. When you buy a K-State license plate, you fund legacy scholarships.
Show your purple pride and be a part of the Wildcat legacy.
Welcome back. We're going to go outside again real fast and take one last look at weather.
Sorry for those technical difficulties, but I know I'm really looking forward to that cool weather. How about you?
I definitely am. Fall is my favorite season of all, and so I'm excited for the leaves to start changing.
Yeah. We're going to take one quick break. We'll be right back.
Since opening its doors, the International Animal Health and Food Safety Institute has had literally thousands of people take advantage of the facilities and academic programs that are being developed. K-State Olathe offers a unique opportunity for scientists from industry and academia to work side by side, focused on addressing real-life issues and training the workforce. Progress is being achieved. K-State Olathe, now open for business.
Welcome back. Well, that's all the time we have here on Channel 8 News tonight. But, you know, I think that snake was a little scary for me. How about you?
I don't do snakes very well, so it was hard for me to kind of keep my composure there for a second. I know I sure would not mess with it, so those foxes and all those animals, they have more courage than I do.
Well, when I was touching it, actually, he wasn't dry. I thought he was going to be like dry, but it was actually really smooth, so it was kind of interesting. I would never guess that with a snake. That's kind of cool. I've never been that close to a snake before. Well, from Katie, Caitlin, Lindy, and myself, thank you for joining us today on Channel 8 News.